The old man stood at the edge of the market, clutching a leather pouch. His eyes darted nervously as he whispered to the young woman, "What you seek comes at a price greater than you can imagine. Do not go through with this." But she refused to listen. A desperate soul has no patience for warnings. The price of the golden coins. The story begins in the heart of a bustling village called Nyamira, nestled deep in the plains of Africa. The sun burned hot above the red earth, and the air was thick with the scent of roasted maize and fresh spices from the market. Among the traders, singers, and storytellers was a young woman named Zuri, known for her beauty and her unrelenting hunger for wealth. Zuri had grown up poor, with little to her name except her wits. She worked tirelessly to earn a living, selling clay pots her mother made and fetching water for villagers. Yet, no matter how hard she tried, her dreams of wealth always felt out of reach. One evening, as the moon hung low in the sky, Zuri overheard whispers among the elders at the village square. They spoke of a secret, a ritual known only to the brave and the desperate. "They say it can turn stones into gold," one elder murmured, his voice trembling, "but it comes with a heavy price." Zuri's heart raced. Gold. She imagined herself walking through the market adorned in fine clothes and jewels, with servants carrying her goods. She had to know more. The next morning, Zuri approached the oldest man in the village, Baba Omari. His back was bent with age, and his eyes seemed to hold the wisdom of centuries. "Baba," she began cautiously, "I've heard of a ritual that can bring wealth. Is it true?" Omari froze. His expression darkened, and he shook his head firmly. "Some things are better left alone, child. Money gained without hard work is a curse, not a blessing." "But Baba," she pressed, "what if I am willing to pay the price?" He sighed deeply and gestured for her to sit beside him. "Many years ago," he began, "there was a man named Kofi who sought the same path you're asking about. He was as desperate as you, maybe even more. He heard of the ritual from a traveling merchant and decided to try it." "What happened to him?" Zuri asked eagerly. Baba Omari's voice grew quieter. "He became rich beyond his wildest dreams, yes, but his wealth came with shadows. One by one, everyone he loved began to disappear. First his wife, then his children. In the end, he was left with nothing but his gold and his regrets." Zuri frowned but didn't waver. "Maybe Kofi wasn't careful. I'll be different. Please, tell me how to do it." Against his better judgment, Baba Omari finally relented. He handed Zuri a small leather pouch and gave her a set of instructions. She was to go to the forest at midnight under the light of a full moon and find the oldest tree. There, she would scatter the contents of the pouch, a mixture of herbs and ash, and recite a chant. "But remember this," Omari warned, gripping her hand tightly. "Once you start, there is no turning back, and never, ever ask for more than you need." That night, Zuri crept into the forest, her heart pounding in her chest. The air was still, and the shadows of the trees loomed like silent guardians. She found the ancient tree, its roots twisting into the earth like veins, and followed Omari's instructions. As she scattered the mixture and spoke the chant, the ground beneath her trembled. A soft golden glow began to emanate from the tree's base. Out of the shadows stepped a figure cloaked in darkness, its voice low and commanding. "You have called upon the spirits of the forest," it said. "What is it you seek?" Zuri swallowed her fear. "I seek wealth, enough to change my life." The figure extended a hand, and golden coins began to materialize at her feet. Zuri gasped, her eyes wide with wonder. But the figure's voice cut through her awe. "For every coin you take, a piece of your soul is given in return. Do you accept this price?" She hesitated for only a moment before nodding. "Yes, I accept." Zuri's life changed overnight. She returned to the village with bags of gold, bought herself a grand house, and hired servants to cater to her every need. She was no longer the girl selling clay pots in the market. She was Zuri the wealthy, Zuri the powerful. But the warnings she had ignored began to haunt her. Strange things started happening. Her once bright laughter felt hollow. Her friends grew distant, their smiles forced. And every night, she was plagued by dreams of dark shadows reaching for her, whispering her name. As weeks turned into months, Zuri's wealth grew, but so did her unease. She returned to Baba Omari, desperate for answers. "Baba," she pleaded, "why do I feel like something is missing? Why does my gold bring me no joy?" Omari looked at her sadly. "Because you've traded the best parts of yourself for it. Wealth without purpose is a burden, not a blessing." Zuri's chest tightened. She had everything she thought she wanted, but she felt more alone than ever. In her desperation, she decided to return to the forest. She knelt before the ancient tree and called upon the figure once more. "Take it back," she begged. "I don't want this anymore. I'll give it all up." The figure emerged, its presence more menacing than before. "You cannot undo what has been done," it said coldly, "but you can choose a different price." Zuri hesitated, fear and regret swirling in her heart. "What do you mean?" "The coins you hold will remain, but the curse can be lifted if you offer someone else in your place." Her blood ran cold. She had to make a choice: live with the weight of her own decision, or pass the curse onto someone else. How Zuri's story ends depends on the choices she makes. Will she sacrifice her soul for wealth, or choose to break the cycle, no matter the cost?